Hello everyone, this is Pastor Troy Cunningham again, and welcome to a new video here today. It's a Mother's Day today, and it is a beautiful day here in North Carolina. I hope you can hear me over the birds because the birds are singing and the trees are filled with music this morning, and that's music to my ears because I always enjoy coming out here and listening to the birds chirping and singing and giving glory to their Creator. So anyway, it's good to be back with you. It's been a few days. I've been in Illinois for 2 weeks visiting my mother. And while I was there, I had a great time with the Amish. I posted some of that in my last video. I talked about that. And today I want to talk about trustworthiness and the INFJ. Because I think that you and I, as INFJs, tend to be. Now, I'm not going to speak for all of you because there's some of you that are out there that are just some real rounders and some knotheads, okay? But I would say most of us INFJs are fairly trustworthy people. And we tend to fit into a lot of social circles. We can blend in quite well. Like I mentioned, I've blended in with the Amish, as odd as that might sound to some of you. But we're, in those situations, even people with various backgrounds and maybe different beliefs or different ideologies, different cultures, can feel comfortable around us. And there's a sense of trustworthiness about us. And, I've had people to tell me, I trust you. I trust you, Troy, because there's something about you, I don't know what it is, that I feel comfortable with. And I've been told that many times throughout my life. And I pray it's not just empty words. I pray that I live up to their expectations. I always want to. It's my desire. It's my heart to do that. But there is an element to us, I believe, that we do put off this vibe, if you want to call it that, or aura about us of being trustworthy. Now, a toxic type would love to have this, and I'm sure they envy many of us for having this ability for people to trust us because they would take that and run with it and create all kind of havoc and pilfer and steal and take from people and do things that we wouldn't even think about doing as INFJs. Many of us, some of you knotheads out there might, but most of us would not do that. But I want to talk about that. What is it that makes you and I so trustworthy? What makes us the kind of people that we are, that people feel comfortable around us and feel like they can trust us? Many times, even with their darkest secrets, they'll just divulge things and talk to us about things. I've been in the cafe in town, and some of the people in town will sit down at the table across from me and just begin to open up, and I don't even know them, don't know them. I've walked into businesses, and business owners will walk up to me that I don't even know, never met, never talked to, and start telling me some of the deepest things of their heart. And I wonder, what causes them to trust me, to be able to tell me things? And I'm not pried, I've not asked, I've not, tried to figure out, how I can get into their psyche and make them do this. They just want to do it. So what makes us trustworthy? And I thought about, my life. I can go all the way back as a child, and I remember, this might sound odd to some of you, but I can remember at 12 years old being asked by a particular family to come and babysit their 2 children. Now, that seems, that would seem unheard of today, I suppose, for a 12-year-old. I've got an 11-year-old at home. I can't even fathom turning him loose into someone's home to watch their children. I just wouldn't even think about it. And but there was something about my personality that these people recognize we can trust this boy with our family, with our children. This past week, the Amish trusted me with their children. I took them out fishing a whole day, away from their family, took them to the lake, took them out in the boat. We fished. I took them back home. Uh, had a wonderful time. We had, the mom and dad trusted me. I mean, we're different cultures, different kind of faith, but they trusted me with their children. Um, that's a blessing to us if we're that kind of an individual where people can trust us. But I thought about what is it that makes us trustworthy, um, and I really believe part of that is lies within our empathy. Our empathy drives us many times to do the right thing because many of us have been hurt, many of us have been lied to, many of us have dealt with toxic people, many of us have dealt with manipulators, we've dealt with liars, we've dealt with thieves, we've dealt with crooks, we've dealt with horrible situations in our life. And because we have been dealt those hands many times and been taken advantage of, we empathize for those, you know, for others that could be put in that vulnerable position. And I don't know about you, but I can speak for myself. I don't want to do anything to cause another man to feel the way I have felt in certain situations. I don't want to ever put my fellow man through the things I've been through. I don't know if that makes sense because I empathize with him. I know what that feels like. I know the pain. I understand the hurt of being manipulated and being lied to. So I believe that's one of the big factors that we have an advantage of, over many other types is our overabundance of empathy causes us to want to do the right thing and not hurt other people. And I believe that people sense that. They don't have to be around us very long till they pick up on the fact that you and I really do want to do the right thing. Someone could hand me a satchel full of $100 bills. They could give me $1,000,000 and say, "Here, would you hold this while I go to Charlotte? That's 2.5 hours away, and I'll be back by evening." And I suppose that they wouldn't have to worry about missing a penny. I mean, it would all be there when they got back. I don't want their money. I don't need their money. There's just something about us that, people can trust us with anything. I'm not going to take someone else's money because I've had people to take mine. I know what that feels like. I know what it's like to have people to rip me off, take my money, and run with it. And so I don't like to be stolen from. But at the same time, I'm going to be the last person to steal from you. It's not in my heart to do that. So, I want to hear from some of you. What are some things that you found? Or do you find that people trust you? I have people to tell me, I trust you. Even online, people will say, "I trust you," and I think, I don't even know you. I don't know who you are. I'll be glad to get to know you, but how do you know you can trust me? And so, what is that? What is that? And maybe some of you can help me to understand it even more. I'm just giving you some thoughts and ideas, and I love to hear some of you bounce your ideas off of mine, and we can dig a little deeper and get to the bottom of this. Why are we so trustworthy? And I'm glad. Listen, I'm not complaining. I'm thankful that God has wired my cognitive functions this way, and I'm thankful that other people can trust who and what I am and trust me with anything because I am not out to hurt anybody. It's never been my intention to bring pain or cause harm or confusion to anyone. And I think that is probably the biggest motivating factor of my life of doing the right thing because I don't want to hurt anyone. So what is it that motivates you? What is it that causes people to trust you? I think one of the other things about myself, and I would say probably many of you others, is our willingness to admit our own failures. I've got a video that I made several weeks ago, a few months ago, about the INFJ and substance abuse, and how that we can get caught up, with certain addictions to compensate for our introverted nature or the other areas that we lack in our life. And sometimes if we're not careful, we can become chemical dependent. And I shared some of my struggle in the past with that. I think there's something about us that when we're willing to admit our failures, we're willing to confess our faults, we're willing to tell each other, look, I'm not perfect. I've made some terrible mistakes in my life. I'm not proud of it. I'm not proud of anything I've ever done that was wrong. But I'm also not so proud and arrogant that I can't open up that part of my heart and tell you, look, I'm not perfect. And I've made some terrible mistakes. And I've learned from those mistakes. Because there are a lot of people out there that would never, ever, ever do that. And I'll tell you, you know, I trust somebody who's willing to say, this is who I really am. The good, the bad, and the ugly. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I would trust a person like that than somebody that always wants to put out the good side. This is my front. This is my mask. This is what I wear. And, just like this, don't see anything else but this nice front. Because I think eventually we're going to see through all that. Eventually we see through people that are trying to manipulate us with this false self. So these are just some thoughts I had today. And if you would just, leave me some comments and share what, some things on your mind about trustworthiness, I'd appreciate it. What are some things you've done in the past, some things that people have trusted you with? Maybe, have some stories of things that, might blow your mind, blows my mind maybe, that people have trusted you with. And so anyway, appreciate every one of you, and may the Lord richly bless everyone.